League is seen one of the dirty games outside of WoW, and it's easily the most toxic game possibly. I mean, I'm talking about even outside of that. You go to a LARP group, and once you actually start getting in on the LARP group enough that you can tell what's going on, everyone's shit talking everyone. Everyone's being a total douchebag to everyone, and trying to like maintain whatever modicum of power it is. And then you get the nerdy dudes that like want to try to be the alpha bro now. And if you dare question their alphaness at all or challenge them at all, they lose their fucking mind, and they can't handle anyone disagreeing with them at all because they're just so used to being the bullied person. But now they're doing the exact same thing. So it's just it's a fucking nightmare getting in on it. And no one gatekeeps and tries to exclude people more than geeks. The people that are most likely to complain and talk about bullying and how bad bullying is are the people that are the most likely to gatekeep something and try to exclude people from something because they don't think they deserve it or they don't think they appreciate it as much as they do. And it's fucking wild. It's the hypocrisy in it is wild. And I am a geek, but I want people to like the things that I like. I want people to participate in the things that I'm in, but it's insane how much the people that want to cry about having been victims of bullying are so quick to revert to bullying.
That's just irony.
Yeah.
It really is. Where like, for me, I was never bullied. I know I'm as a geek myself. Like I feel like I've never had the sense of bullying to the extent of like, because I'm not just in like geek as in like, oh, I like video games. Like I also have done like art stuff. Like I did theater.
You were a theater kid, yeah.
Yeah. So I got that stigma a little bit of like, oh, this person, must be like this, and then they treat me as such, and I'm like, okay, well, that's not exactly because you evolve into that stereotype. But as I got older and I was like, you know what, that just puts me in a better footing. I can see myself, and that's what helped me become more extroverted, because I was more introverted growing up.
Yeah.
And I had friends that like, from when I moved in my first house to the second house, and I was like, oh yeah, this is a different vibe, because once before I used to be very sporty, and I would do like basketball, football, all that stuff, and I was never a theater guy. I did chorus, but I was never like in the realm of like, oh, I'm with the fine arts kids.
Yeah.
Now in
You
high
never
school,
felt
I
like
was
included in that.
exactly, like I felt like I was just dipping my toe, and I felt like I was more of the outcast of it. But then once I got into it more in high school, I was like, oh yeah, this is dope. This is awesome. And even as an adult doing theater, it almost is like it actually kind of never changes. Like even as an adult doing theater, it's kind of funny because people like, it still gets clicky, because if it's almost like, even in jobs, it's like, it's not what you know, it's who you know. So when you go into something, it's like, oh, it's just very clicky. The one place, and I haven't done this in a while, and it's been a while since I've done D&D, but funny enough, I always, to my surprise, D&D is like the least toxic thing, and I always thought it
depends
was
on the group
the
you're a part of.
It does, yeah, it does.
Yeah.
But like my experiences have always been very welcoming and just homey, and everybody is getting along, and everybody's laughing, and you think in the most like crazy scenarios that you're in when you're in those campaigns, it's like you think like somebody is going to like rage or get pissed off or like say some shit that's like completely offhand, and you're like, oh, okay. But no, it really is not like that. At least in my experience, I've actually had very, very nice experiences.
Yeah.
Considering my character, I was always a bard, so
yeah. I've had some bad experiences. I had some people that get ragey and whatnot, but like the thing is too, like in my D&D groups, a lot of times me and one of the other dudes that aren't like that are kind of the biggest people there, so I don't think we kind of experience it as much, because it's and it's a lot of people that I'm actively friends with too. But like I've also seen the toxic side of it. So it really does matter the group you get into with that. But it's just one of those things. Like to me, what it is you get the people. It's kind of like what Luna just said. Peaked in high school is a saying for a reason. And generally, you think about peaked in high school when you're talking about like jocks and preppy kids are the ones that, oh, they peaked in high school. But you get that with like the geeky kids too, in a way. Especially when they're like, oh yeah, I was this smart kid in high school, but then that hasn't really panned out for them in any effectual way. They haven't found a way to utilize the fact that they're intelligent to succeed anywhere. So now they're just kind of bitter. But then also the level of, you get like the two kind of geeks. You get the geeks that are like you and me, kind of, where it's like, yeah, we were geeks in high school and we might have been bullied a little bit or whatever, but we matured out of it. We matured out of that mindset of being the geeky kid that was bullied in high school and was resentful towards everyone because they were bullied in high school. But then you get the ones that like that they never mature out of that. They never stop being the geeky kid that was bullied in high school. So that is the way they interact with the entirety of the world, and it's really sad to see. It's really like, because what are you going to say? You got some 40-year-old dude that is still acting like he was in high school and still reacting to the world like he did in high school, and it's like, you're never going to change.
Like, I have a friend that's exactly like that, and on top of that, I never thought would be the most toxic. Like, there was times where during COVID, specifically, we were on Discord a lot, and we used to do things like Among Us. We would play like Yu-Gi-Oh a lot, and it would be fun for a while. But then I come to find out, and granted, this was probably at the time where I was the most unhealthy. Like, I hated how I felt and looked and everything else. But it didn't help that I found out he was talking mad shit about me.
Oh yeah,
behind my back with all of his other friends that he had met through Discord, long distance, and I was just like, okay, this is absolutely like strange. Yeah. Where like I just didn't know what to Hold on, give me 1 second.
Okay. Okay, let me finish this up, Miles, and then I will hop over too. And it depends on if the players end up using D&D as substitute for therapy. Sometimes okay, sometimes it's bad. Yeah, it's like you get the ones like I've talked about that like I have a problem with, where it's like, okay, their ego is really coming out with it. So they become a different kind of toxic, because now they are using D&D to like forget the bad things and pretend that the bad things in their life aren't true. But now that like becomes the rest of the players' problem to deal with. But then you get the ones that they are doing it as escapism, but not making it other people's problems.
All right, I'm back. Sorry, something happened with the movie that I played.
But okay, what were we saying?
I was just talking about this guy on Discord.
Yeah.
I've been friends with him since high school, and it's just crazy how like after, I would say, almost 10 years of us like knowing each other as friends, and then like after everything, he talks mad smack. But maybe it's because he was going probably through something, because I don't think he was the most like popular kid. Granted, I wasn't either. I granted a little bit of that through theater, and I had people like me for that reason. And you know, that's and I guess people have their own groups, their own cliques, but I don't think he necessarily had one.
Yeah.
And he was like super like, yeah, he just seemed like he had to like make himself feel better. And I was like, dude,
well,
like,
that's what it is. It's not just making themselves feel better is what it is. It's a little bit twofold. It's one, that is the behavior that they learned works, and they never grew out of high school. Right. So they got bullied in high school by the popular kids. So they're like, oh, if I want to be the popular kid, I got to be a bully. But it's also a bit of, I think it's a protective thing. I think it's them trying to protect their friendships and relationships by tearing everyone else down. Because now, if they're talking about, oh, look what a piece of shit Christian is. Oh yeah, I'm his buddy, but then behind your back is saying, oh, well, look at what a piece of Christian is. Now in their mind, they are thinking everyone's going to think Christian's a piece of shit, so they're going to like me more than him. So I don't have to worry about losing my friends to Christian if things go south, because they know Christian's a piece of shit. But one of the things they don't realize is people fucking talk. They're not as... It's also the thing with, like, narcissists, where they always think they're more clever than they are, and they always think their plan's going to work out better than they are. But they don't realize that people are talking, so you're going to find out that they're doing that. So now if your friends have any level of integrity, they're going to be like, dude, this dude's talking shit about my friend all the time, fuck this guy. And then you're going to be like, this dude's talking shit about me, fuck this guy. And then like they're burning themselves a little bit. But it's to me, it comes off very much as them trying to protect their friendships and their relationships by tearing down everyone else so that they look like the best option.
Yeah, it's just sad to see, like, when, you know, especially for me, like, I'm approaching, like, I have my 10-year reunion this year, and it's like I am curious to see the growth that everyone else has had over the course of 10 years. Now, granted, I at least know a few that, you know, for the most part have definitely grown up and changed, but then there's definitely a few that have not changed at all. And, you know, I obviously the first couple years after high school, like, yeah, I didn't change. I was still holding on to high school. Like, I was like, oh, I didn't want to leave. But now I'm like, oh, I'm glad that I'm out, and this is awesome because now I don't have to deal with anybody's bullshit. And
I remember. Oh, go on. Sorry.
You're fine. I was just saying, like, just in that moment with him, it was like, okay, hopefully things go well with you, because he just kind of is in the internet space of, like, just all on Discord. He never goes out. He never goes outside to, like, try to, like, experience, like, you and me. Like, yeah, we're on Discord. Yeah, we stream. Yeah, we play games. But it's like we still find
we have lives.
So, like, yeah, we have lives. We you know,
we touch grass.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, so, like, I had a thought there for a second. Oh yeah, no, that the people that never grow out of who they were in high school. Like, one of the big things, because I occasionally I'll see someone like that I knew in high school post something on Facebook, and they'll be posting something really mature or that's like anti-bullying or this or that, and I'm like, hey, fuck you. And then I think about it for a second, like, it's been 12 years. It's been 13 years. It's been 13 years since high school. They are not the person that I knew them as. They are not the same person. They have grown up. Their brain has finished maturing. They are a different person. So I'm not going to hold them to that standard. Or I'm not going to hold them to who they were in high school, because that's not healthy for anyone. But on that kind of note, I remember this was like a few years after high school. This was a number of years after high school. I was in the military by this point. You know, I'd matured a lot. I'd grown up a lot. And my nickname in high school was ZJ. We had a lot of Zachs, so my nickname was just my initials, ZJ. Everyone called me ZJ. And this one kid that I didn't like, Chance, who was just like a nerdy dude, but he was the nerdy dude that a lot of the popular girls would flirt with to get him to do their homework kind of thing, so he thought he was cooler than he was. He would always call me Z-Gay, because he thought he was the cleverest person in the world. And this is, and me and him hated each other. And this is years after high school, and I'm back at my hometown, I'm visiting on leave, and I'm with some buddies, and I see him in this convenience store, and I say, hey, what's up? And he looks at me, I say, hey, what's up, Chance, how you doing? He's like, hey, Z-Gay. Like, with that same sort of, like, snide derision that he used in high school, because clearly this dude had never grown out of it. And it was just, like, we were in our, like, 20s at this point, and it was just, like, so sad and pathetic to see this grown-ass man reverting back to his high school mentality with it, because he could just never grow past it. But, okay, let's switch over to Repo.